Hour, everyone, here on a Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. What's going on? How are ya? Here on a very brisk and cold afternoon in the city of Sacramento in the state of California. What's going on? Welcome to a passionate, heated, incomparable, and an inconsistent discussion about everything going on in the sports world. To all my friends and family down south, back east, and up here in NorCal, thanks for tuning into today's program. The Koeneke Hour is brought to you by Sided, a brand new debate platform that rewards you for your opinion. Are you tired of the chaos and unorganized nature of Twitter? With personal attacks by unknown trolls thrown in the mix, there was no scoreboard, no clock, and no way to crown a winner. Sided, a one-on-one civilized and timed debate with a winner ultimately chosen by the voters, which is you. Clock is ticking, the pressure is on, get in the game, go to sided.co, create an account, and prove you've got the strongest takes and best opinions at sided.co. What's going on, everybody? Here on a Tuesday, I promise there will be no crying this week. All sports talk, back to the grind and back to everything in the sports world. Baseball season coming up with spring training. We got some NFL news, we got some NBA action, we got two guests on the schedule today with Luke Maduno and then Andrew Walgren, my roommate and best bud up here. He will join me for hot takes. He likes to come in every time he sees me and he writes it down. He says, hey, I got a couple hot takes. And I said, hey, why don't you bring it on the show and get you on some live radio, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Got the Koeneke Rant of the week, stop it right now, and just a lot going on today's show here on a Tuesday evening. But what's going on, everybody? How's your week going? How's school going? If you're a student, if you're working, how's that going? Hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week so far. Just getting into the grind of going back to school, and really excited to be back and really excited to talk sports after a rough week in which I lost my grandmother. I decided to dedicate my show to her because she meant so much to me, but that is behind us, and I've been pushing through and getting through, and I just wanted to thank any of you out there who are listening who reached out to me personally, offering your condolences and offering your support through a tough time for myself and my family. So I appreciate that, and I really appreciate you. And I think during tough times in your life and times in which you have grief and emotions that aren't too great, the best of friends come out, and they come out and support you, and that's a little diamond in the rough, so to speak, of when things go south in your life. You always have people to fall back on. So I just wanted to start the show with saying how appreciative I am for those people who did reach out, and those people showing support, and those people listening to my stories about my grandmother and what she meant to me. But let's move on to sports. Let's get back into the grind. I'm really coming in hot today. I've had a couple, I've had good days, but a lot of things have bothered me the last couple of weeks, or last week, I really should say. A couple things that I've noticed. But let's get started. Remember to follow the podcast. That's on YouTube. Just look up the Koeneke Hour if you're not able to listen to the full show. Also, check out my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour, and check me out on Instagram at Nick Koeneke. You'll find all my stuff and everything going on in my life on that. And also, I'm on Facebook if you type my full name in there, Nicholas Koeneke, on Facebook. But guys, I really need to talk about something that I noticed, and I'm really getting sick of this. And we're going to start today's show with the bang with the Koeneke Rant of the week. And here's something that's really been bothering me lately. And as school is now in session and we're in the groove of things, we're into the fourth week here at Sacramento State, I believe. But man, I'm really getting sick of this. And listen, guys, I don't care if you are a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat, whether you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you put pineapple on your pizza. But, guys, we got to come together and come to the agreement that if you steal my unassigned seat during the fourth week of the semester, you're a piece of shit. I am so sick and tired of students just coming in thinking they can take my seat. I understand that it's unassigned, okay? I get it. But when you sit down in the first couple of weeks of school, that's your seat for the year. You don't just mingle around, go to other people's seats, and decide, I want to sit on the right side of the room today because I think I could get a better angle at the notes. No. We all need to come together. We all need to agree, and we all need to put our differences aside and agree that those people that steal your seat 4 or 5 weeks in the semester are garbage. I'm getting so sick of because what school's all about is you try to get in the groove and you try to get into a schedule. My dad likes always to say, get on a schedule. So when I come to class, I'm expecting to be in the same seat, do the same crap all day. Okay, listen to the same teacher. But if you're going to come in and totally jack up my schedule with the, sitting in my seat, okay, coming in like, oh, hapsy dude, I'm so sick of it. And it's my last semester here in college, hopefully, okay? Knock on wood, right? That I graduate this semester, I pass all my classes. But I have this class where there's primarily freshmen, okay? Because I'm at that stage in my academic career that I can really take whatever I want. There's only a couple classes that I don't have to take, okay? There's a couple classes I do have to take, a couple requirements. Everything else is what I just have to get to that 120 credit. If you're a student, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got to get to 120 credits to graduate, right? So I'm in this freshman class. Last week I show up to class on Thursday, okay? Show up, I'm in a good mood. It's 10 o'clock, I'm just waking up, blah, 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 getting ready for the day. Next thing I know, some bozo freshman sitting in my seat. And I go, really, dude? And he turns to me and goes, oh, man, is this your seat? I'm like, oh, man, yeah, it is. So get out. Obviously, I didn't say that because I'm not a dick, okay? I'm not that kind of guy, but I told him, I was like, hey, don't be in my seat next time. You can have it this time, but don't be in it next time. Guess what? Show up today, he's not in my seat. So the intimidation factor of myself worked, but I just want to put it out there, and I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, okay? Everybody needs to be on the same page. Everybody needs to come together. Besides our differences, okay? You can be Asian, you can be white, you can be black, you could be, a freshman, you can be a senior, you could be a man or a woman. If you're sitting in my unassigned seat the 4th week of the semester, you're a piece of crap, okay? You are. And it's not acceptable, okay? I know I'm freaking out over a little, nuisance. But if you're a student, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody has dealt with this in their career. Everybody has stolen somebody else's seat. Okay, I've done it, but that's because somebody else steals my seat. Once you pick your seat the first couple of days, first couple of weeks, that's your seat for the semester. It's like elementary school back with, Miss Doherty or whoever the heck you had as your 2nd grade teacher. You got your seat assigned, you sit there until she tells you to sit elsewhere. In college, it's the same thing. You come in the first day, you come in the first week, you come in the second week. You sit in the same seats, you put your name on it, and even though it's unassigned, that's your seat for the semester. Nobody else should be sitting in that seat. That's the Koeneke Rant of the Week. Starting today's show with a little bit of a bang, so to speak. I'm Nick Koeneke. Thanks for tuning in to the Koeneke Hour. If you're just joining us, got a lot of talking to do about NBA, about spring training, the NFL, and much more. And got 2 guests on the slate for today. All right, guys, let's move into some spring training. Major League Baseball is back as pitchers and catchers meet this week, and I just wanted to kind of preview and see what you guys are thinking, what I'm thinking heading into the 2019 Major League Baseball season. Call into the show if you want, 916-278-3666. Call in, tell me what you think. But heading into spring training, I think there's a couple storylines that are that people should be paying attention to. First of all, you have to be paying attention to the Bryce Harper, Manny Machado kind of story that they still haven't been signed. They still have, well, it's not that they've been signed, it's that they still haven't signed with a couple teams. They're asking for all this money and they're contemplating who they should sign with, players or teams, and who's going to be their long-haul team for the next, 5 or 6 years. It looks like Bryce Harper's out of the Washington, D.C., out of the nation's capital, playing for the Nationals. He's looking to sign with teams like, the Padres, teams like the Phillies, a lot of National League teams. Those big teams in the American League don't seem like they're after him so much. And then Manny Machado's, he's up in the air. He's looking at the White Sox, who aren't going to be good for a little bit. He's looking at the Padres, who aren't going to be good for a little bit. But then he looks at the Dodgers, and he's looking at the Yankees, whoever. He's looking at a bunch of teams. But the one thing I have for Bryce Harper and Machado, one thing that I'm really kind of sick of is that they're prolonging this process. Okay, they're prolonging their eventual signing. Okay, these players are just going out and spending all the offseason instead of maybe getting to know their team, getting to know their new manager, getting to know the city in which they're going to be playing baseball. But instead, they're sitting around on their butts and just saying, I'm just going to wait until I get the best offer. Totally understandable, okay? I totally get that that mindset. But it gets to a point as a fan and as a league that you're like, guys, it's spring training. It's like those players in football, right, who hold out. They take weeks they go all the way through training camp without signing for a team, and then guess what? They miss maybe a couple games, or they play very minimally in the first couple of weeks. This is the same thing for these guys, okay? Harper and Machado, I don't care that, you're working out and things like that. If you have this sort of mindset and this mentality that you're not on a team yet, you don't know where you're playing, that can mess you up and mess your psyche up a little bit. So Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, really, they need to sign in the next week or two. And reports keep coming out saying, he's going to sign now, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I don't know. They just got to sign. I'm sick and tired of just going day after day, not knowing where they're playing. I think Bryce Harper's very overrated. I really do. For a guy who hits 40 home runs a year and only batted, 230 last year? Okay, he can be a great addition to a team and get you runs, but he's not the player everybody likes to talk about, in my mind, okay? He strikes out a crap ton, all right? He's not putting the ball in play. He's got a big temper, much like myself, so I'm not going to judge him on that, but he gets thrown out of a handful of games for arguing with umpires, and he's not the player that he was, okay? Yes, he's still in his prime. Yes, he's still got that pop in his bat. Okay, but he's not this, messiah, so to speak, of a player. And looking over at Manny Machado, the guy clearly, has a little bit of an attitude issue. And that's, I think, a lot of people talk about maybe the Pirates should sign Machado. That's not going to happen. But if I were the Pittsburgh Pirates, I would stay far away from him. With how young that locker room is, you don't want a bad influence on a paycheck that you're giving a guy $300 million. Okay, over the course of 10 years or whatever it is, okay? So I really think that those are the two biggest storylines. It's Machado, Harper. Harper's not the player everybody thinks he is, in my mind. And then Machado is, he's just, I don't know. The way he plays and the way I watch him and how I saw him in the World Series, I don't know. I just feel like he's got an ego and he's a little bit of a drama queen, even though he really doesn't talk that much. For such a star player. It'll be interesting to see who these guys sign with, but those got to be the two biggest storylines heading into spring training. And then teams that I think people should be looking an eye out for, it's got to be the Tampa Bay Rays. And here's the reason. The reason the Tampa Bay Rays are on my mind going into spring training, and I'll make this very quick because I'm sure not a lot of Rays fans are out listening, right? The Rays, they did a whole different thing last year. They totally changed baseball with the relief pitcher starting games, okay? So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that. But they won games, okay? They weren't a bad team. I believe if I check the record again, they were, 10, 15 games over 500? They were a pretty darn good ball club. And they got so much heat for the way they play baseball. But guess what? They won games, and that's what matters, okay? So the Rays are going to be an interesting team. They're much like every small market team. They're not going to make a big splash over the offseason. They just aren't, okay? But the Rays are a team you definitely should be watching in spring training and early on in the year and see, hey, can they compete in a very competitive, in a stacked American League East with teams like the Yankees and Red Sox, who the Red Sox are just coming off a championship, but teams that are always winning, right? So it'll be interesting to see if the Rays take a leap. And a team that I think that could take a leap this year, just trying to go on a tangent, has to be the Philadelphia Phillies. I mentioned that Harper is considering heading to Philly and leaving the nation's capital and going to the rival Phillies. If he goes to the Phillies, all right, he's gonna get. The reputation he's gonna have in Washington D.C. is gonna be. I don't even have a word to describe it. But if he were to go to the Phillies, I think that totally gives them a advantage in a team that can make a leap. Okay, 2 years ago the Phillies lost 100 games. Last year they were really competitive, almost made the playoffs. And now you got the chance to have a left-handed bat in your 3 or 4 spot. Okay, in a small ballpark, with a team that's got really good young talent, Hoskins, who played here at Sacramento State. He's a guy who's, he was in the home run derby. So guys like him got a good staff in Nola, and then, just a team that's really coming off a very positive season where they really played some good baseball and they were competing for a division with the Braves. So it'll be interesting to see if the Phillies take a leap. I think they will, and I think the Rays are a team that you should look out for. And then to end this kind of spring training talk, going to the National League Central, I'm always going to bring up the Pirates. That's just what I do. I don't think the Pirates are necessarily favorites or that they will go into the year thinking they can win a division or get a playoff spot. That would just be, quite frankly, dumb of me to say, okay? But I don't think the Central is as good as people think. And I think a lot of teams will take a step back. I know the Cardinals had a really tough first half and then really came back in the second. So they should be right about what they were last year. I really think the Cubs, their time of reign is going to end this year. Whether that's if somehow they, get into a playoff spot or they don't make it to the playoffs, I think that the Cubs really will take a step back in the NL Central, and I think that can kind of but give the Pirates a little bit more of a chance to win games, maybe at, the All-Star break or moving forward. All right, we got a caller here on the Koeneke Hour. Caller, you're on the Koeneke Hour. Who's this? Hello? And a hang up. I hate when that happens. You decide to call in. If you're going to call in, make sure your phone works, people, okay? This is my show, not your show. So whoever was that caller, make sure to call back. All right, it's 5:31 here on KSSU.com. Luke Meduno is going to join me in about 10 to 15 minutes shortly to talk a little NBA. But man, that caller, whoever that was, and if you call back, I'm gonna rip you a new one for not having your phone properly work. When I answer the phone call here on the Koeneke Hour, you just decide, I'm gonna prank call and not pick up. Oh, it was my cousin. He just texted me. Oh, here. He's calling back. Let's put him on. Let's make sure his phone works, and let's see what happens. Caller, you're on the Koeneke Hour. Who is this?
This is Jack from Pittsburgh. Why'd you hang up on me?
Why isn't your phone working, Jack from Pittsburgh?
I thought it was. I just wanted to ask you a quick question about the Pirates.
Okay, right before we get into that, let's give some context. Jack Lipovich from Pittsburgh, he's one of my cousins. He's part of the Lipovich family tree in which I am a part of. And I was talking to him earlier about listening to the show, and he decided to call. Thanks for calling, buddy, and what is your question?
So what do you think the solution is going to be at shortstop for the Pirates? And then looking forward into potential solutions for Polanco, do you think Chisenhall is the answer in outfield, or do you think they need to maybe mix in Reyes a little bit more? What do you think the two because I think at least positional wise, those are probably our two biggest holes right now. And how do you think they're going to fill them?
All right, that's a great question. Before I answer that, what do you think? Because obviously, I'm sure because you have this, question, you have an answer to it. So Jordy Mercer now gone off the Pirates. Okay, Jung Ho is kind of just iffy because he keeps drinking and he can't get off the juice, right? So he could be a bit of a, I don't know, not a solution, but maybe a guy who could just fill in at short. He's got pop in his bat. I really like his bat, but defensively, so it's a good question at short. I brought up Machado because people in Pittsburgh keep talking, why don't you sign Manny Machado? And I just don't think he would be a good fit. So my question to you is, do you think signing Machado would benefit the Pirates? Because I really don't think it would.
I think just thinking about the idea of signing Machado is completely unrealistic. They're clearly not going to spend that money. And I think you make a good point saying that he's probably not the best fit for that locker room. Mm-hmm. The one positive that you could get out of that is, I mean, Pittsburgh's been looking for, ever since McCutchen left, they've been looking for that leader, that guy who's kind of the magnate in the clubhouse, but I don't know if really Machado's the guy for that, he's a Latino, and I don't know, it could be the language barrier could probably play into that, and plus his high-profile nature.
Right,
that might not necessarily help.
Yeah, and the demographics don't necessarily work in favor for both parties for that. I think you're kind of spot on. Obviously, the Pirates aren't going to sign him. They just don't spend money. Bob Nutting and his front office just will not spend money to make a contender. And you're totally right in saying that they're lacking a. You could call it a poster child type player since McCutchen is gone. I wore McCutchen's jersey today to celebrate spring training. But it's going to be interesting because the shortstop market isn't really deep this year. There's a lot of players out there who still haven't been signed. I remember seeing a tweet by Justin Verlander saying over 100 players still don't have a team. So I'm sure the Pirates are going to... This is what the Pirates are going to do. They're going to do what they've always done, and they'll find some, bootleg... Not bootleg, but a very average bat, 250 Jordy Mercer type of player if they're not going to throw in, Jung Ho at short. Do you think Jung Ho could possibly be or get his act together, Jack Lipovich? What do you think?
I mean, he never was the best fielder, and I think his best case scenario with Jung Ho is he replaces Freese as a right-handed bat off the bench. And they could platoon him with Moran at third. What do you think about Kevin Newman at short? He's the guy that they brought up last year at the end of the year, and he didn't really do anything at the major league level. And then they have Gonzalez, I believe, but other than that, there were talks of obviously signing Tulowitzki. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I was early in those talks. I really thought they would sign Tulowitzki, and the reason I didn't bring up Newman is the fact that he just didn't do anything positive in month in the majors. I mean, absolutely nothing. I think maybe he maybe 200. He didn't do anything necessarily on the defensive side of in the field saying like, oh, that would be great. So the Pirates have all these young guys. Like do you remember a guy named, was it Ngope? You remember him?
Yeah, Gift Ngope.
Yeah, Gift Ngope. I think he's with Toronto now. But when he first came up, I thought, wow, this guy could really maybe kind of just be that small little, kind of face player, who could play any position, kind of like a Josh Harrison type, and really benefit this team. But moving back towards Newman, I didn't bring him up just because we don't know. He came up and he didn't really do anything, and there's no indication whether he's going to play or even be on the major league roster to start the year. So there's so many questions with this team, and that's why it's so frustrating to cover or talk about him, because you just really don't know. And then you brought up Polanco. All that guy does, oh my God, is just ground the ball to the right side every time, and he runs down with his giraffe-type frickin' legs down the frickin' first base path and barely can, beat out maybe a single to right field. I mean, the guy's always hurt. Okay, he hit 25 the other year, and then that was his one good year. Every other year, he's either hurt or his average is below like 230, which is completely unacceptable for a right fielder. I mean, Corey Dickerson played great. Marte had his drug issues, which he's an idiot. Okay, and there's this team just frustrates me, and there's so much potential, and that's what's so frustrating is there's so much potential with some of these guys, and they just make some just boneheaded, eye-dropping, I want to turn off the TV mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, for sure. A lot of players are going to have to turn it around this year because they're not the type of team to go out in the market and blow it up and try to bring in some big names. So.
Yeah, they're just going to have to go through the minor league system like always, and they're going to be right around. They're going to be 10 games above 500, and early in the season get everybody excited, and then they'll lose like 15 of 20, and then the attendance is going to drop at PNC. I'm actually going to be at PNC this year during the summer. I'm going to go to at least 2 games against the Cubs and Brewers while I'm in town. Jack Lipovich is choosing to go abroad to like some country like Iran or something like that and not see his cousin. But Jack, before you go, because I have to hit a commercial break, and I really appreciate you calling in, what do you make of Antonio Brown's official request to be traded from the Steelers?
Not surprised, and what he's doing is trying to force the Steelers' hand by sparking he's clearly been using social media to his advantage to spark conversation. So now everyone's kind of saying, "Oh well, they're going to trade him before the Steelers." I mean, the Steelers don't have to trade him, but that video kind of just gets the argument going towards trading him, and he's basically just trying to separate himself so he can get himself out of there. Again, a selfish move, and it's been disappointing to see that. Obviously, Pittsburgh fans are pretty disgusted about it. But
he's a 15-year-old girl who found out her best friend just made out with her boyfriend, and now has to go on social media and talk about how it's over and that she's over it. And just he's a child, okay? He has no wherewithal for how business works, even though he comes out and says business is booming. And I am just so sick of his antics, like the rest of the city of Pittsburgh. And it's not frustrating; it's disappointing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Jack.
I agree.
Are you in Pittsburgh, or are you at the University of Miami, Ohio?
I am at Miami University.
Miami University.
In
okay.
Ohio.
Same thing. So that's not Pittsburgh. That's a little bit. What is that?
A little bit west.
A little west,
5 hours west.
Where a famous alumni, Ben Roethlisberger, attended. When was the last time you saw Big Ben on campus?
It's been a while. I'm sure he's been been uptown where all the bars are a couple times since he's graduated, because Big Ben loves that. But I'm actually looking right across the street at his practice facility that he donated to the football team, which is pretty cool. It's a really nice indoor facility, so he definitely has a bit of a presence on campus here. All
right. And you got any hockey plans for the night? You got your club team or anything going on?
Practice later, and then 2 weeks we start playoffs. So
2 weeks we start playoffs. Well, Jack Lips, I appreciate you calling in. Good luck with the hockey stuff. Call in anytime. You can be a guest if you want. Just send me a text, and stick to that Instagram stuff that I keep sending you. Snapchat's for, not Instagram's where it's at, and I probably have the best Instagram game out there, so stick with that.
All right, Nick. Thanks for having me.
All right, Jack. That was my cousin Jack Lips. All right, we got to hit a break as Luke Maduno is going to come on to talk NBA. We'll push down the Antonio Brown talk to later on in the show. But let's hit a break. You're listening to the Koeneke Hour here on KSSU.com. Koeneke's Best, a new segment I like to debut, will be coming up with Stop It right now. And then my friend Andrew's going to come in with his hot takes at, I want to say, about 6:15 in the second hour of today's program. But let's head to Gonzaga University and Luke Maduno, who's coming onto the show to talk a little NBA. Mr. Maduno, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, sir, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little fired up about students stealing my unassigned seat in class. Do you have any experience with that at Gonzaga University?
Oh yeah. Usually, what I do when somebody steals my unassigned seat, I just give them a hard stare for about 5 seconds, and if they don't get up and leave, then I'll go away somewhere else. But that usually gets them out.
So my experience was a freshman was sitting in my seat because I'm in a freshman class. Because I'm an idiot, all right? And it's the 4th week of the year, and he's in my seat. And I go, oh, man. And he goes, oh, is this your seat? And I'm like, yeah, don't do it again. You can sit today, but don't sit next class. Guess what? He didn't sit next class. The intimidation factor, the Feed the Beast, Carmel Valley Rec Center, Nick Koeneke, intimidated a freshman out of his seat. What do you think?
Oh man, yeah, that's intimidating as a freshman. If you got a super senior down your neck, I'd probably get out of there too.
Yeah, especially with my looks. I'm not the best looking guy. I'm a little intimidating, so to speak. He was a little scrawny 18-year-old. I asked him. I go, "Hey, do you like to drink?" And he goes, "I'm 18." I'm like, "So?" And then there was this awkward pause of just nothing, and I'm like, "Okay, I guess not."
You didn't want to give up the secret.
I don't know about that. I mean, he seemed a little loserish. All right, Meduno. NBA deadline, trade deadline has come and gone. What are your impressions of the trade deadline? Who were the winners and who were the losers in the NBA?
Man, it's always funny every year with the trade deadline. It always seems going in like nothing's going to happen. But this year was a little different with the whole Anthony Davis trauma. But if you winners and losers, I think the most obvious would have to be the top in the East with like the Sixers and the Bucks and even the Raptors as well. They all improved greatly. You know, the Sixers with somehow pulling off that Tobias Harris deal, along with Boban Marjanovic. He's a great piece off the bench as well. And then you got the Raptors picking up Marc Gasol for basically bench warmers, which is a fantastic pickup. It gives them a whole new aspect to their offense. And the Bucks picking up Nikola Mirotic from the Pelicans, who basically were in distress the whole time for the trade deadline. So they picked up Mirotic as well. And I think all three of those pickups were fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I got a quick question. Side note, because I'm going to forget if I don't ask. My friend thinks the Milwaukee Bucks will win the East. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the Bucks, they look really good right now, but the Bucks are a very easy team to guard in the playoffs because you have a team centered around a superstar who can't shoot, basically. And
you're talking about, are you talking about a
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but you have a team centered around that guy, and obviously they've done well to put shooters around him, like Brook Lopez has made a great stride this year, and Mirotic. But I just don't think it's enough having one superstar on a team who can't shoot. I just don't think that's enough to beat a team like the Raptors or the Sixers or the Celtics.
So we're in the middle of February. Who is the favorite to win the East and West in your mind?
Oh, man, I think in the East it's a lot more contested than the West. I'd say in the West it's still the Warriors. They've looked fantastic since getting DeMarcus Cousins back in the lineup. I don't think the Lakers did well enough at the trade deadline to make any noise there. But
did you just bring up the Lakers?
Yeah.
Did you just say the LA Lakers losers?
Yeah, the Lakers. You don't want to see them in a 7-game series.
Spare me
right now. They're
me. That team is in disarray.
No, they're gonna.
LeBron James is an awful influence not only on coaches but young players.
No, they got 2 months to get it together, Koeneke. They have
BS.
LeBron. LeBron is. You never bet against LeBron James.
Okay, LeBron James is no Tom Brady. He's no Tom Brady.
Oh no, you never bet against Brady either. But
yeah, but you don't. You can bet against LeBron. Look at him. He's sitting at the end of the bench, not around nobody. He's not having fun. His team's not having fun. And he's going to act like, I'm an ambassador for the game. I'm this, I'm that. He's so full of crap. And that team's so full of crap.
Unless it's against the Warriors, Koeneke, I'm not betting against LeBron. Or maybe the Rockets, too. I'll maybe get a bet against them there.
All right. What do the Pelicans do with Anthony Davis now that they failed to trade him?
I think they did really well at the trade deadline, honestly, keeping him, because with that, you're going to get the Celtics into the conversation, and no matter if you take the Celtics deal or not, it's going to raise the price around the league for Davis, because you know the Celtics are going to put Jason Tatum on the table. They're going to put their war chest of draft picks on the table, and that's going to make the Lakers a little nervous, and they're going to have to increase their asking price around the league. So I think they did well, and I think you just got to wait on them until the summer.
So just wait out the year. The Pelicans, they're not a 500 team, are they?
No, right now they're in the basement of the West.
Okay.
They're 25 and 30.
So just play it out is what you.
Yeah, and I'd consider taking. I saw the NBA is going to impose $100,000 fine on them every game they keep Davis out, and I'd take that if I'm the Pelicans, because if he gets hurt majorly, nobody's going to take him, and he's going to walk for nothing in 2 summers. So I'd very much consider that.
All right, Kyrie comes out and says, "I don't owe nobody nothing." What do you make of his comments? And what are the chances that he re-signs with the Boston Celtics?
Obviously, it's a troubling comment as a Celtics fan, but I think Danny Ainge said it best. He got on the radio a couple days ago, and he said that it when Kyrie made those comments at the beginning of the season saying he was committed to the Celtics, that was the engagement. The marriage still has to happen in the summer. And I think there's a lot of factors that could, get the marriage off the tracks. It could not happen in the summer. And I think that's all dependent on the playoffs to me. If the Celtics make a deep run and get to the finals and kind of get over that hump of the East, then I think he stays. If not, then it's going to be dependent on an Anthony Davis deal, in my opinion.
So you brought up the Lakers and how you said that you would never bet against LeBron and you would never bet against a LeBron team. But do the Lakers have enough to make the playoffs? I think they're a 9 seed right now. I have to check that. But do the Lakers have enough to make the playoffs? Even besides LeBron, okay, take him out. Don't even say nothing about him. Lonzo's consistently hurt, okay? You don't really know. Kuzma's pretty good, okay? You really don't know what you're going to get out of Ingram every single night. Do the Lakers have enough to make the playoffs?
I'd say they do right now. They're 10 actually right now, sitting at 28 and 500.
Okay.
But ahead of them are the Clippers, who are going to drop out when they lost Tobias Harris, and the Kings, who I don't believe in, and I think the Lakers. Yeah, no, come on. They're gonna.
Hey, guess who I ran into last night? Real quick.
Who?
Bagley was at the Sac State game.
No way.
Yeah, I was calling the game, and I was doing our post-game show, and I looked down, and there's Bagley, just hanging out.
Wow.
Me and all the players. Dude, he's really not that tall. He's not that big. He's really skinny. And he's as tall as you would think. You wouldn't, sometimes when you run into athletes, you're like, crap. You're looking towards the North Star, trying to figure out where his nose is, right? Just like Shaq.
Yeah.
But he's really not that big.
Wow. Yeah, I know he's a skinny guy. I thought he was pretty tall, but yeah, that's interesting.
But you don't have any confidence in the Kings to make a playoff spot.
No, I don't think so. You got guys who are too young to kind of sustain that sort of success. And with the Lakers, I think, you don't want me to talk about LeBron, so I'll talk about Kuzma, because that guy's special. He is absolutely one of the best young players in the league.
Okay.
And you got guys like Josh Hart as well, and Lonzo honestly doesn't really matter to this team with Rondo, in my opinion. I think honestly Rondo runs the point guard position with LeBron a little bit better than Lonzo does. Mm-hmm. And, especially if they pick up a guy like Markieff Morris after his buyout, that would be a fantastic pickup. And I think this team has just enough role players to get them to around the 7 or possibly the 8, 7, 6 range. I'd see them. And you do not want to run into the Lakers first round.
Even if they're an 8 seed and they play the Warriors.
Oh, yeah. If they played, like I said, I'll never bet against LeBron unless it's against the Warriors. The Warriors would trounce them. But any other team is going to be a 7-game series, in my opinion.
We're talking with Luke Maduno. You can find him on Twitter at L Maduno, and he is a contributor at Gonzaga. Hey, Luke, so our radio station is right across from our gym, and there is a guy at the front of the gym dressed up in a condom costume. What are your thoughts on that? A yellow condom costume handing out free condoms to students. Do you ever see that at Gonzaga University?
Gonzaga is a Jesuit institution, so I don't think you'd see that too often here. But I guess you gotta keep the students safe. So I endorse that.
Yeah, Sac State is not a Gonzaga university, so I understand why a guy, and he's like flailing his arms now, trying to get people's attention. I don't think anybody wants to like touch him because he's wearing I repeat, people, he is wearing a condom costume at the gym. All right, Luke, give us an update on Gonzaga. So, real quick, do you write for the newspaper at Gonzaga? Give yourself a little plug before you talk about Gonzaga.
Yeah, for sure. I do cover sports at Gonzaga. I have a couple articles. Next week I'm covering the recruiting class coming in at Gonzaga for the Gonzaga Bulletin. It's the school-wide newspaper here.
Okay, and where can they find that? Can they find that online?
Yeah, on Twitter at the Gonzaga Bulletin or online at gonzagabulletin.com.
All right, give us an update on the team.
All right, so we just beat our quote-unquote rival school, St. Mary's, by 48 the other night. So that's the WCC for you, and that's pretty much what we have to experience here. We have to wait until March for anything to be exciting, and that's pretty much the way it's going to be until then. I mean, we lost Killian Tilly for the rest of the regular season, which is a bit of a drag. He's a good kind of sixth man for us, but Brandon Clark has just been playing out of his mind lately on the level of Rui Hachimura, in my opinion. So we're just going to ride it out. I'm fully expecting an undefeated conference play for us, and we'll see what happens in March.
Now, would you? I know this is kind of an off-topic question, but would it be beneficial if Gonzaga somehow? I don't know the process. Would it be real quick? Would it be beneficial if they left that conference?
Absolutely. I've been ever since I've gotten here. I've been very much a fan of the idea of moving into the Pac-12. It just gets you more recruits, more TV time, and it'd just be better for the school in general, in my opinion.
What about just like the Mountain West? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, the Mountain West would be a good step forward as well. I mean, even there you get more, televised games against SDSU. Mm-hmm. And either way, I mean, this conference is just not good enough. So I think that's going to be something they think about going forward.
All right, Maduno, 2 more questions before you go as we head towards the top of the hour here on the Koeneke Hour. Question number 1, what do you think of the Instagram?
Oh, I love your Instagram, to be honest with you. It's the most, I've heard this comment a lot, but it's true. It's the most entertaining Instagram story on my feed, to be honest with you.
I appreciate that. I've been asking most people what they think of it, and I guess Maduno is rather happy. So I thank you, and I'm also appreciative that I can kind of make you laugh during the day. Luke, Valentine's Day's coming up. More importantly, that's my birthday. What are you gonna do for my birthday, and what are your plans for Valentine's Day?
Oh, for your birthday? Oh, I gotta send you a card, or I gotta send you a text at least. I gotta get our friend Adam Glick to send you a text too. I think
if he's not listening, does he send a text? If he's not listening right now, he doesn't hear us call him out. Does he still send a text?
If I'm in Vegas with my money, I'm not putting my money on Glick to send you a text.
Glick. All right, and what are your plans for Valentine's Day? You're with the missus. What's going on with that?
Yep. So taking my girl out to dinner. We already did the whole gift exchange thing. So we'll probably just go out to dinner. It's a Thursday night, and we got exams the next day, so probably nothing too special.
You already did gift exchange, Maduno. It's the 12th.
Yeah, we did it like a week ago.
Why?
we both had our presents, and we just thought that who wants to wait? Who wants to wait another week?
Who wants to wait another week? Who are you people? Isn't she like foreign or something? Is that what they do wherever she's from?
Yeah, it's a Russian gift exchange.
Yeah. You just show up a week early. Oh, I know your birthday's tomorrow, but here's your gift. Like, who the hell does that? I've never heard of that.
Yep.
And you're totally okay with it as an American.
Oh yeah, I'm fine
as a
with
proud American who will stand for the national anthem. You're okay with that.
Yeah, I just want my gift, man.
All right, well, that's Luke Meduno. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him at the Gonzaga. What is it? The Gonzaga Post something? What is it?
Gonzaga Bulletin.
The Gonzaga Bulletin. Look that up on Twitter. Look that up online and read his stuff. Luke, I expect a Valentine in my mailbox at about 9 o'clock on the 14th, written to myself from you as a birthday gift and a Valentine's Day gift. So I'm expecting that in the mail. I appreciate the time. I'll probably have you on later on in the NBA season. And once again, thanks for the time.
Awesome. Great coming on, man. Have a good one.
All right. That's Luke Meduno here on the Koeneke Hour at 6:01. My buddy Andrew Walgren's going to come in about 10 minutes to talk about his hot takes. We're going to have a new segment called Hot Takes with Horn. That's his nickname, Horn. So, and I'd like to call him Horny. So Horny is going to come into studio to talk about everything that he, feels in the sports world. But before we head to a break, I'm going to have a new segment. It's called Koeneke's Best. All right, and Koeneke's Best is, I in the light of recently some tough times for me personally, instead of ranting and being upset on this show all the time, I wanted to talk about something, and I wanted to dedicate a segment to some happy feelings and things that I find funny, stories that I see, or and I read and stuff that I notice. And I thought I'd do that, and we're going to debut Koeneke's Best. We're going to take a short break, do Koeneke's Best, then take one more break, and Andrew's going to join us. So stay tuned, stay put, and you're listening to the Koeneke Hour here on KSSU.com. All right, Valentine's Day coming up here in February. It also is my birthday. I'll be turning 23. It's also my twin brother Pat's birthday, so shout out to him. Make sure to send him some love as we both will be turning 23. Hey, send some love to my mother because she was the one who gave birth to us. So, yeah, a big day in the Koeneke household. Pat and I blessed our mother on Valentine's Day when she's supposed to be, given flowers and chocolate by my dad. Instead, we pop out and we're like, hey, happy Valentine's Day. And we're a couple Valentine's Day babies. All right, let's move on to Koeneke's Best. So this is a new segment that I like to try to do every single week now, where it's something funny and some things that I notice and stories that I want to kind of tell that I saw on the internet that might make you laugh. So in the light that Valentine's Day is in a couple days, one man has come up with an incredibly unique way to ensure he has a date for Valentine's Day by selling himself for the weekend. Peter Wilding from New Zealand is offering women the chance to buy a date night package with him. The singleton claims to have suffered a bleeding in the brain when he was 12 years old, which nearly killed him and prevented him from dating at his younger years. He's now hoping to make up the missed time by offering his romantic services with the goal of finding someone special to date. So prices for the date start at $15 in American dollars, which will get you a basic hangout for an hour in the morning just as friends. What? This Peter guy is just coming out he's offering a date with a woman, but you gotta pay her? Or she's gotta pay you? What? This makes no sense. You get a date night package with him. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, prices start at $15. So at the very least, you get an hour with him. Because he's so charming. And if you pay more, then I guess you get a real day and whatever. Isn't that like soliciting yourself? Isn't that illegal? I mean, I'd use a different word, but I'm not allowed to here on the air because we're college radio. Well, what? Peter Wilding from New Zealand is offering women the chance to buy a date night. What? Let me ask you, if you're a lady out there, would you ever do this? Like, if the best looking like, I don't know, like if John Mayer or like, a model, a guy asked you, girl, whatever, whoever you're into, said like, hey, if you paid $15, I'd hang out with you for an hour. Would you do that? Like a Ryan Gosling or whatever you chicks are into? Or whoever you're into? That's insane. But that's hilarious. That takes balls, and I respect the hell out of this guy for doing that. I respect him for saying, come. And I love how he has an excuse, right? He's like, man, my brain was bleeding when I was a kid, so I couldn't date chicks at 12. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't dating any chicks at 12. We just hung out on the swing sets, and that's it. We weren't going on dates, okay? So this Peter guy, first of all, he's probably full of crap, okay? But second of all, you got to respect him a little bit. Because it's funny. He's just like, yeah, want to hang out with me? Pay money. Nobody would do that. I wouldn't do that. I'd never do that. That's hilarious. All right, that's Koeneke's Best here on KSSU. As we head into the second hour, I should say, here on KSSU.com. I'm Nick Koeneke. Make sure to check out my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Make sure to check out the podcast on YouTube. If you just search the Koeneke Hour, check me out on Instagram at Nick Koeneke. Like I said, not everybody, but people are loving my Instagram game, whatever you call it, however the young people say it. So make sure to check that out. And, and then if you want to call into the show anytime, 916-278-3666. I'm here for you, here to talk. All right, we're going to hit one last break. And, well, not one last. It'll be the second to last break before we end today's show. Andrew Walgren, my hot takes best buddy's going to come on. And he's going to give us his hot takes next here on KSSU.com. 6:13 here on KSSU.com, the student-run radio station of Sacramento State. New segment, just like the last one, Koeneke's Best, where that guy is selling dates on Valentine's Day because he didn't have enough time as a kid because his brain was bleeding at 12, so he wants to make up some time but also make money, I guess, moving forward. But let's bring in Andrew Walgren, my best bud here. He's going to talk some hot takes. He always likes coming in, like when I show up for after the day's over. I come into the room. He's also my roommate, so we live, we sleep. We wake up next to one another.
We stare at each other when we wake up.
We stare at one another when we wake up. I usually open my eyes, and he gives me like this big wave, and I'm
an excitable guy.
Yeah. So he's going to come on, talk a little hot takes, and we're going to call this segment Hot Takes with Horn. I'd like to have this maybe every other week, if that's okay with Andrew, as long as the schedule permits, and he can gather some hot takes for himself. Here, Andrew, grab a little closer to the mic so the people can hear you. Why don't you say hello to all the listeners? What's going on, buddy?
Hello. My name is Andrew Walgren, a.k.a. Horn Dog, a.k.a. Horn, a.k.a. Horn, who has the hot takes. Thank you for having me on your show. I love the show.
Yeah, thank you. He always listens, and I appreciate it. I like to call him Horny. There's a nice little difference of, it's Horn Dog, and Horny, and Horn with the hot takes. So this segment is I'm not going to lead this segment. Just like when we're at home, Andrew just leads the conversation. I listen and I tell him if I think it's substantial. So Horn's going to just start talk about his hot takes. It'll go from everything in sports to music to anything. I have no idea what this guy's about to talk about, so I'm taking a big risk with him speaking. Horn, first hot take for the listeners.
All right. So everyone saw the LeBron Lakers show. LeBron, comes back from injury. They beat the dysfunctional Celtics. Everyone freaks out. Oh, LeBron's back. Playoffs are going to be awesome. Then, a couple days later, they fall hard one to the Sixers. LeBron's not even playing defense. The team doesn't look like they're being cohesive. They give up 143 points. And I'm here to tell you today, while all the other pundits, they're telling you that the Lakers are only 2 games out of the playoffs, they're going to make it. I'm telling you the playoff outlook for the Lakers is Slim to none. Now, I've got a few facts to back this up before Nick comes in. Now, they have a very hard schedule the rest of the season. 15 out of their last 26 games are against teams over 500. And when LeBron is in the lineup against teams that are over 500, they are 9-11. I want to repeat that, 9-11. And let me tell you, one of those wins against the dysfunctional Celtics.
9-11.
Yeah, I'm concerned for LeBron.
So the hot take is the Lakers will not make the playoffs.
It's absolutely the hot take.
So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to say whether I agree with it or not. I agree. I agree that I was actually talking earlier, talking with my friend Luke. I go, LeBron is a coach, like not a coach. He's dysfunctional, and he wants to be all about himself. And if nobody falls in line, then you're out. All the coaches we saw a stat, right? The longest lasting coach he had was like 4 years. Okay, and then he ships off everybody just so he can get Anthony Davis. And you're saying the Lakers will not make the playoffs?
He doesn't like long-term teammates. He doesn't like coaches. He doesn't like being friends with anyone. I think they will miss the playoffs. I'm saying there are some factors that I think are going to help him, but I think in the end, like the Clippers tanking, trading away Tobias Harris, like that hurts. The Clippers are probably going to get caught by the Lakers, but
right. All right, hot take number 2.
Hot take number 2. So, the Lions of American football debuted this weekend, and all the pundits were talking about how, their ratings beating the NBA was a huge deal because the Thunder and Rocket got 2 million views and the AAF got 2.1 million views. But I don't think this is about football at all. Listen, we're talking about minor league football, guys who couldn't make it to the professionals. This is about the NBA dying. This is about a game where the last 2 MVPs are playing each other, and they're hyping this up on the commercials. But we're talking about Russ, who's shooting 24% from 3, and Harden, who's this knockoff Kobe, who just drives the lane, gets in a silly foul where, the wind touches him.
So the NBA's dying.
I think so. Harden, they keep acting like Harden's Kobe. Harden's
he's
not Kobe.
Not.
He does these traveling step backs, and then he drives the lane and the wind fouls him.
But what does the AAF have to do with Harden? And what does Harden have to do with the AAF?
Everybody was talking about how the AAF, they got these great ratings against the NBA. They didn't get great ratings. They lost to a rerun of Bachelor. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what we're talking about. It's just because I don't want to watch Russ miss a bunch of threes and Harden play his,
So what are you saying? What's the hot take that
the
everybody...
NBA is dying.
The NBA is dying. Okay.
The MVP is a joke. 2 MVPs play each other. I don't want to watch either of them.
Hot take number 3.
Hot take number 3.
Wait. I disagree.
Yeah.
So I have to agree and I have to disagree at the end. Hot take number 3.
All right. This kind of leads into the next one. I lost 2 friends this week. So I was talking to my friend. He's Sam. I was asking what music he likes. And he was all like, anything but country. That's a classic answer. And then he goes into it and he starts talking about the bands he likes. And he says Fleetwood Mac. And I'm like, and you don't like the Dixie Chicks?
What?
The Dixie Chicks are just Southern Fleetwood Mac. They got slow songs.
Right.
They got, they get a little aggressive sometimes, but it's never hard jams, and it's always about losing a man.
So he likes Dixie Chicks.
No, he doesn't like.
Oh, he doesn't like the Dixie Chicks.
Fleetwood Mac.
I love the Dixie Chicks and Fleetwood.
I just think if you have to like one, you have to like the other. You're just being biased at that point. You just hate Southern people.
So what's the hot take?
If you like Fleetwood Mac, you better like Dixie Chicks.
100% agreed. Hot take number 4.
Black Bear Diner is the worst place in America. They have numerous locations that make no sense. I mean, it's not even good. And it's expensive. It's like IHOP if they charged you triple.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's the only take I have on that.
I've never been to Black Bear Diner. I've seen it. I've driven by it. Never was enticed to go in there. So I will take your word for it and agree that Black Bear Diner is the worst place on earth. Hot take number 5.
Everybody talks about girls with daddy issues. I'm about to break the ground. I'm on your girl's side. Guys with mommy issues are the worst thing. If you are on a first date with a guy and he starts talking about, negatively about his mother, get out of there. You think if he doesn't treat his mother right, the woman who raised him, he's going to treat you right?
Oh, no.
No, he's not. He's going to treat you like a second-class citizen. We can't have that.
Women with daddy issues is like men with mommy issues.
I would say mommy issues is worse.
Mommy issues for guys is worse than women with daddy issues.
Absolutely.
Hot take from Horn. Do I agree or disagree? I would probably disagree. Just because I'm biased.
Yeah, I mean, we're guys.
Yeah, we're guys. Hot take number 6? Is it 6?
Yeah.
6.
This one's for the guys since I had the one for the girls. Girls don't like when you disagree with them, but when you're in a relationship with them, they want you to be honest.
Wait. Okay. Repeat that one more time so everybody knows exactly what this hot take is coming from. One more time from Andrew Horndog.
Girls don't like when you disagree with them, but they want you to be honest, which contradicts each other. You want me to always be honest with you, or you want me to agree with you? I'm just trying to be a good guy.
Okay, so what's like the solution?
There is no solution. I'm just mad about this. Hot takes.
All right, you got another hot take? How many you got?
Well, do you agree with that one?
Yes. Hot take number 7?
Yeah, I got 3 more, 2 more, whatever
We'll go through all of them. Hot take number 7, Horndog and Nick.
I do not know the New Orleans general manager, or like whether it was the general manager or the owner who did what they did.
For the Pelicans or the Saints?
The Pelicans.
Pelicans.
I don't know who made the decision, but someone decided to start trade negotiations with the Celtics and the Lakers with no intention of trading Anthony Davis. They did it literally just to mess with the team chemistries of the two teams.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's genius. You're bitter after the Saints lost. You're bitter after Anthony Davis tampering and wanting to go to the Lakers. And now you're just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to mess with both of you. Your team chemistry is going to be ruined because I'm going to fake all these trades and I'm going to leak all the sources. I love it. New Orleans, my favorite general manager / owner. I don't know who made the decision because I feel like the owners could have bitterly done it.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I totally agree. When the reports that came out saying that, hey, what was his name, Windhorse or whatever, said like, oh, the Pelicans had no intention of trading Anthony Davis. They were just messing with the league. And he's like, that's repulsive, and we can't have that type of behavior in the league. I thought it was hilarious.
Best thing I've seen all year. I love it.
I agree. Hot take number 8, I think.
So I have a teacher right now, which will not be named, but he thinks of himself as an intellectual. He likes to talk about how his favorite people were Socrates, Aristotle, Plato. You know, he's one of those guys. But the way he leads discussion is he'll ask you what you think this term means. And then you'll answer. You'll be all like, what do you think red means? And you'll be like, anger. And he'll be like, why? And then you'll go for like 10 minutes in class, and if you don't like play along with his game, he gets mad that nobody's like getting involved in the conversation.
Yeah, nobody's participating.
But all he says is why. You're not Plato just because you say why. You're not invoking thought. You're just saying why.
So now, is this teacher somebody I've had or no?
Absolutely. You have had him.
Okay, so I know who exactly you're talking about. 100% agree.
All right.
Hot take number 9 from Horn.
This is my last one, and it's very simple and crudely written. Bucks win the East. I've been saying since the beginning of the year.
Bucks win the East. Why do the Bucks? Is it a Tumbo?
A Tumbo is gonna go a Tumbo over everyone's baboombo. I'm telling you. I believe this 100%.
And do you think he could beat the Sixers, who just got Harris, right?
You know, here's the thing about that. I think I like the Sixers. I like that they got Harris. Like that they got Butler. I'm not a big Joel Embiid fan. I know a lot of people are saying he's in the MVP talk.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they got a lot of B+ers, and Antetokounmpo is just an A+. And I remember the time in the NBA where it's just whoever had the best player. It doesn't matter how deep your team was.
Yeah.
Because, you know, deep teams never win. It's all about who has the best player. I think Antetokounmpo still has it. I called him beginning of the year. You were there with me.
I was, and I stand by what you said because it's the truth. 2 questions before you go. Number 1, we both think the NBA is like annoying. So why do you think we keep talking about it?
Well, I can't stop it. You know, like, it's like a soap opera. It's like
The Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Like Orange Wives in Orange County. You know, I can't stop listening to it. But does it make me mad? Of course it makes me mad. 12 teams are tanking right now, and we talk about teams that are irrelevant in any way in the NBA. We talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. What has he ever done? If we talked about his equivalent in the NFL, we would be making fun of him. Blake Bortles has done more with his career than Karl-Anthony Towns, but everybody's still, on their high horse about Karl-Anthony Towns, and we make fun of Blake Bortles like he lives in a dumpster.
Oh, I think Blake Bortles is different than Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, Anthony Towns comes in every night and puts up points.
Yeah, but does he win games? He just hogs the ball, makes points, doesn't do anything special.
Well, what's-his-face doesn't put up points or win games.
Took a team to the
Bortles.
conference championship.
Okay, that's a fluke.
Hey, yeah, that's 6 weeks of genius.
6 weeks of genius, my ass. All right, last thing before you go. Something I noticed. You probably saw this in the gym. Did you see the guy dressed up as a condom?
It's a woman.
It's a woman. Okay, excuse me. Woman. It's kind of far. Can't really see.
She has
so my
a condom.
So she's just hanging out in a condom suit. A woman wearing a male condom costume, handing out condoms. What was your interaction like with her? And what's your overall opinion on what she's doing?
Well, I'll tell you what I told her. She said, "Do you want some condom upstairs?" And I was like, "Are you gonna walk me up?" She said no, and I was like, "No, thank you."
Walk you up for what reason?
I don't know. You have a little conversation, grab some condoms. I don't know.
You just didn't want to go by yourself.
I was scared. I don't.
Scared? We're at the well. It's the gym.
My mom's not here to walk up with me. I'd be a little embarrassed.
Mama's boy, right? Yeah. So if you have mommy issues, that's a red flag for women.
Yeah, but if you're a mommy's boy like me, then I'm totally good to go. I'm for you ladies.
So Andrew is for you ladies because he loves his mom.
I love my mother.
Andrew, I appreciate the time with the hot takes. I'll see you in a couple weeks with a couple more.
Thanks for listening to Horn, man.
Yeah, that's Andrew. We call him Horn Dog, Horny, whatever you want to call him. If you like what he's doing, let me know, and I'll keep having him on. But that's hot takes with Horn, so I appreciate the time, buddy. All right, we're going to hit a break at 6:28 here on KSSU.com. When we come back, I'll have my Koeneke Hour sided debate of the week and stop it right now to end the show. You're listening to the Koeneke Hour here on KSSU.com. Head into Stop It right now, and then the Koeneke Hour sided debate of the week. Welcome back. Remember to follow me on Twitter at the Koeneke Hour. Remember to follow all the podcast of the Koeneke Hour. If you've missed part of the show, go back and listen. Also follow the Keep Calm and Stay Offended podcast, my own podcast. And then make sure to follow me on Instagram at Nick Koeneke. Follow me on Facebook at my full name, Nicholas Koeneke. But let's get into Stop It right now. Welcome to Stop It right now.
No.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Stop it. Get some help.
So I was at home, and I live with 5 other people in a house. So I got 5 housemates, 1 roommate, right? And I'm okay with, sharing... Excuse me. Ugh, I had to burp there. I'm okay with sharing, food and, plates and... toilet paper, random things, things you need throughout the day, right? I'm okay with, people, using my things as long as they ask and stuff like that. I'm pretty respectful with that kind of stuff, right? But I had one of my housemates comes upstairs, okay, and I'm on the 3rd floor, he's on the 2nd floor. Now, his bathroom is preoccupied with his roommate. So he comes upstairs, he's like, hey, I got to use the bathroom. I'm like, sure, whatever. Thanks for asking. But here's my biggest problem with it, though, is, people who are in the bathroom, they're not in the bathroom for hours, okay? They're in the bathroom for, 5-10 minutes at most, right? You do your business and you get out, okay? That's what you do. So I think unless he had, an emergency, he really didn't need to use my bathroom. And here's my gripe. So please stop it with the whole, just because, you said I can use something doesn't really mean that... doesn't really mean that you can use it, okay? And this is what I mean by that. He comes upstairs, he's like, hey, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm like, okay. So that's kind of weird. Then he's in there for like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, you son of a gun. The guy comes upstairs to go number 2 in my bathroom. I don't care if your room or bathroom's preoccupied. I don't care if it's, there's something wrong with it. I don't care. You use your bathroom to go take a crap, all right? You can come up to my room, take a piss, whatever, but I'm pretty sure you could have waited the 5 minutes that your other roommate was using the bathroom. You could have waited 5 more minutes to go take a crap. Then you're upstairs on my toilet, getting your bare ass on my freaking toilet seat, and then I gotta, picture that in my mind the rest of the day. Drives me nuts. So please, if you're using other people's bathrooms, just go, you can hold in the extremities of what's coming out of your intestines and the rest of your body, okay? So stop it right now with the whole, they offered so I can use it. No, they're offering it because we're nice, okay? We don't actually mean it, okay? So please, stop it right now. All right, to end today's show, let's move on to the Koeneke Hour Sided Debate of the Week, as we will bring up something that doesn't actually have to do with sports, like a lot of things on this show. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Sided and what they bring to the table. And the debate of the week, the Koeneke Hour, is brought to you by Sided, a brand new debate platform that rewards you for your opinion. Are you tired of the chaos and unorganized nature of Twitter, with personal attacks by unknown trolls thrown in the mix? There was no scoreboard, no clock, and no way to crown a winner. Sided, a one-on-one civilized and timed debate with a winner ultimately chosen by the voters. Clock is ticking, the pressure's on. Get in the game, go to sided.co, create an account, and prove you got the strongest takes and the best opinions. That's sided.co. All right, this week's debate has to do with video games. Everybody knows Fortnite, everybody knows Battle Royale, how each company and video game is trying to get into that medium, so to speak, of the video games. And a new video game that's come out is called Apex. And Apex is a Battle Royale game that has completely exploded onto the scene. It has 25 million players in just 7 days. So here is the Koeneke Hour Sided Debate of the Week. Will Apex take over as the Battle Royale go-to video game over Fortnite that has completely controlled and blanketed that medium of video games? I've played Apex. I have a PlayStation. I've played Fortnite. I haven't played Apex that much. I don't really have an opinion on it yet because I just haven't played it that much. I've been really busy. Midterms are coming up, so I really haven't played that much. But it's a free game, and people are absolutely loving it. My roommates are playing it. My housemates are playing it, and apparently the rest of the world is playing it. So my question is, for the Koeneke Hour Sided Debate of the Week, will Apex take over Fortnite as the go-to Battle Royale game? Because within the last week, it sure seems like that it will. And Fortnite looked like a game that could never be taken over, that it could never be, dethroned. But like everything, it always is, and I'm really interested to see if Apex is that game. All right, that'll do it for today's show. I want to thank Luke Meduno and Andrew Walgren coming in with hot takes about the NBA and just hot takes in general. If you missed part of the show, make sure to go back to the podcast on YouTube and look up the Koeneke Hour and listen into the portions of the show that you missed. If you listened to the whole show today, I appreciate your time and appreciate your willingness. Thanks to my cousin Jack in Ohio, also from Pittsburgh, for calling into the show. I really appreciate that. Feel like you guys can call in anytime, 916-278-3666. Follow my Twitter at the Koeneke Hour, Koeneke spelled Koeneke. Follow my Instagram at Nick Koeneke. I'm on Facebook too at Nicholas Koeneke, and I appreciate you guys listening in. I will be back next week. I got no sports coming up. I just got done doing 5 games in 3 days for KSSU and Sacramento State Athletics, as I got done doing softball and basketball, and I'll have more softball in the coming weeks. But I'll be back next Tuesday here on KSSU.com for the Koeneke Hour here from 5 to about 7. I never start on time. I never end on time, or never end at 7. I always end a little earlier. If you're new to the show, you know exactly, or if you're familiar with the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But once again, I'm Nick Koeneke signing off. I'll catch you guys next week. And once again, thanks for tuning in. And like I said, I'll see you guys next week.